Yeah.
George Latimer defeats House Squad member Jamaal Bowman in historic New York Democratic primary. New York Rep. Jamaal Bowman lost his Democratic primary to Westchester County Executive George Latimer, making the first defeat for a member of the House Squad of progressive lawmakers. The result in New York's 16th Congressional District is also a victory for pro-Israel groups, which backed Latimer with historic levels of spending during the campaign. According to ad tracking from AdImpact, that race was the most expensive House primary on record. Bowman, 48, a former middle school principal in the Bronx, was first elected in 2020 after unseating longtime Democratic Rep. Eliot Engel, a pro-Israel hawk, in the primary. The race, much like this one, centered on accusations that incumbent had lost touch with the diverse but heavily segregated district, which spans parts of Bronx and Westchester counties.
That was the one that you were talking about. I thought that was in Oregon, but that was in New York, correct?
Yeah, that was in New York, man.
Yeah, where they spent $24 million because he wasn't pro-Israeli.
Yeah. It was like they came out, they saying that this guy, they spent basically $23 million. They ended up spending $23 million to unseat this guy because basically he came out and said, let's stop the ceasefire. He asked for a ceasefire, and everyone's got angry with him. Because this district is heavily Jewish district. And so I kind of look at him like, bro, what were you? I understand you want a ceasefire. I get it. But you know where you're running at, because this district is like probably 80%. That's like 5 or 10% of his district is in the Bronx. So you don't have a huge vote of people that look like yourself. The rest of it is kind of like Westchester County, where this guy, which kind of looks like the other guy who we ran against, which is a European guy, Caucasian. And so he needed to understand where he was at. And they also ran ads against him, basically saying that he was against the infrastructure bill and a bunch of other stuff, which he voted against. But he came out and he said that he's like, hey, I didn't vote against the bill because just voting against it. It's because they took out the free child care, took out the money for kids, for people who don't have a lot of money are going to give free childcare, and money for people who can't afford, like mothers, are going to get a certain amount of money per month. You wanted those provisions put back into the bill. And so that's what he said. He thought they were going to run 2 versions of it, but they only ran 1 version of the bill. Yeah. So basically, they were able to run ads just chipping away at him. They spent $23 million
on a primary.
On a primary race. Imagine
not even the election, a primary.
That's a crazy point, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of money just for to say, hey, we'll pick this guy. We have to, one day we're going to have to do an article about that, because I even found out, going back to housing, I don't mean to stop, but BlackRock, who's going around buying all the houses and making it hard for like Americans to own housing, is actually is a Jewish owned company.
I mean, most of these companies are, when it
goes back to when it comes to the CDC too, everybody having getting them jabs. You get to look at all the directors, all the people running it. It's a lot of underground stuff, and they hide this
in plain sight. It's all hidden in plain sight. We have to look at most of the platforms that we are on are owned by these same people. I mean, it is what it is. You go look at Bill Gates. There's a lot of stuff that's right there in plain sight that we could really look at. And, at the same time, they said the people who helped him support that, people who also spent part of that $23 million was a group owned by, it's called Onward Together, by Hillary Clinton. She also helped push money onto him too, and also a guy named Nelson Peltz, who's helped kind of spend some of that $23 million, and who's a pro-Trump supporter. So think about that. The same guy who's a pro-Trump supporter helped you primary one of your strong Democrat House members out of there, and we just went along with it because nobody cared. Nobody wanted to take a stand about it.
Well, no one's paying attention. Most of the primary, you don't really pay attention to that.
Yeah.
You're just like, okay, they picked this person, cool.
Yeah, it's just crazy to me, man. I just feel like it's too bad, because when I looked at him, he wasn't a strong candidate. He did a lot of dumb stuff. I guess he at some school he pulled the fire alarm for some reason. Like, they got him on video doing it. Like, I don't even know why he did it. But so,
hey, everybody wants to pull that fire alarm.
I
want to see the fire truck.
He's a grown man. I'm like, what did he pull the fire alarm for? For what purpose? And just did it for out of nowhere. And they got him on video doing it. I was like, and then I seen him when he's at one of his rallies. He got OAC in there. And they also have
AOC.
AOC, my bad.
Yeah.
AOC.
Don't talk about my future president like that.
I think maybe.
Hey, yeah, man, she could run.
I think, trust me, in a couple years, like I told you, I think we're gonna have
I'm trying to be her first husband. Trying to holla at me.
The first gentleman.
Yeah.
I honestly think she got a chance to win it too. But this guy, he's up there. He got his sleeves all rolled up. He's got a chunky little dude, got a bigger arm and stuff. I'm like, man, you got to know how to run for something, man. He's acting like he's revved up, ready to go. You should have been revved up before this, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. They got 23 million against you. You know what I mean? So
I was like, they're trying to take me down. Hey,